Everyone, welcome to today's live. Anyways, welcome. Hey, everyone, welcome to today's live. What we're going to teach today is grounding. My name is Leo, and probably you've heard of grounding before if you've done anything that has to do with meditation or spiritual reality or whatever it might be. You've probably heard something about what grounding is. I'm going to ask you to back shelf all that stuff. It's your toolkit. You can access it whenever you want. But for today, if you're trying to see things through a lens of what you've heard before, you're not going to be able to connect with what I'm offering you here. So you're going to learn grounding. And essentially what grounding is your connection to the planet. It's pretty much that straightforward. You can think of trees and their roots to the earth, and so they don't topple over in the wind, that kind of stuff. You can even relate to it like a helium balloon with a string attached. And if there's no string attached or nobody's holding on to the string, the balloon just kind of flies about, just goes wherever it's going to go, kind of thing. And there's no connection, there's no intention, there's no focus, there's no what have you. So if you're ungrounded, you tend to be very distracted, the classic case ADHD kind of stuff, unfocused, unsure about what you're doing, experience brain fog, tired, you're probably exhausted a lot. And the list goes on of quote unquote cues. I can't legally say the word symptom, but things like that, cues that are impacting your health and well-being if you are ungrounded. So what you're going to learn today is grounding. I'm going to use a couple of visuals. However, what I teach isn't a visualization. Visualization is great. It's useful. If you want to create goals and stuff like that. And I do work with visualizations in terms of what I teach. However, today is an energy-based practice. And what you're learning is like way beyond visualization. If you get stuck in a visualization context, you won't be able to fully experience what I mean by energy. However, visualization starts the process going that way. So that's why we're working with it today. However, grounding is really your ability to energetically connect to the planet. Okay. So let's go ahead and start to do this. And so for the meditation I teach, it's not a pretzel leg. It's not like this and you sit here all like that. In fact, I tend to caution people to avoid meditation practices like that. Just my personal bias and opinion. But however, the ideal platform, the ideal body disposition for you or position for you in meditation is to sit in a chair with your palms up on your lap. There's no special like finger things or whatever. And with your feet flat on the ground. If you can't sit in a chair for, more than, today's going to be like 15, 20 minutes, then what you can do is lie on a couch or bed or something like that. But your feet need to be facing downward. Okay. That is one of the critical components for this. That's why the pretzel leg meditation doesn't really get you fully grounded as much as you can possibly be. So feet flat on the floor or facing down, palms up in your lap, seated in a chair. And then this is an eyes closed meditation. You can still do this with eyes open. These meditation tools I teach, you learn in a meditation practice, and then you take them out into the world. They're tools. It's like a hammer or a screwdriver or whatever. They're tools that you can apply into daily life. They're not just for meditation practice that you do in the morning or the evening or whatever. And your life is dichotomized between your spiritual here and your work here and that kind of stuff. These tools are intended to be applied in, day out life. So eyes closed, comfortable in a chair, and go ahead and turn inward. And first of all, I just want to do kind of a couple of checks as you're turning inward, like pilots check on their plane and whatever. And just want you to get planted in your body. Where's your body? Where's your awareness of your body? Are you in your left pinky toe? Probably not. You're probably in your head. Just first of all, just notice where your check is in terms of where your body is. Are you kind of grounded? Are you planted in your body kind of thing? Are you in the physical dimension? Or are you kind of escaping and thinking about your to-do lists or picking up kids after school or tomorrow or the weekend or whatever you've got going on? And let's check your breathing. Another check. So a couple of really simple checks just to kind of help you create more presence and seamlessness between a video of me teaching meditation and you practicing where you're at right now. Cool. And here we go. I want you to postulate if need be. So postulation just simply means if I could be aware of this, if I could experience this, how might I be able to do this? So off your tailbone, create a grounding cord all the way down to the center of the planet. And first of all, just notice your experience of this right now, if it's easy, difficult, if it's a visual, if it's an awareness of something. And if you'd like, you can work with a visualization, but I really encourage you to focus on the energy and just have this kind of beam of energy going down to the center of the planet. You can imagine like a flashlight, with light going all the way down, or those are all visuals that support to pointing to energy awareness. And then all the way down to the center of the earth. And just notice what this is like, if this is familiar, unfamiliar, this feeling of being grounded. Just notice the cues. And then with everything I do, I always like to give the contrast of it. So right now you're grounded. So I want you to give yourself the experience of what it's like to be ungrounded. Go ahead and pull up your grounding, get rid of it, and wrap it around your shoulders like a feather boa or whatever you need to do to get rid of your grounding. You can use one of those Batman words from the 70s and 80s of bam or Shazam or kapow or whatever, and it's gone. Just notice what that's like to be ungrounded. Just notice what tends to happen in your space, your breathing. Notice if you start to get distracted, maybe a bit of brain fog or fogginess, or maybe you're more clear. There's no right or wrong way to experience this. And then we're going to play with a couple of visuals now to support you with owning it a bit more, practicing it a bit more in different ways. So let's do a common one that's out there. But again, I'm going to ask you to back shelf this and what you've experienced of meditation or grounding in the past and certain ideas, because if you're coming at it from a certain lens or how a teacher approaches it and teaching a certain way, you're not going to be able to get into the room in terms of what I'm teaching because you're stuck in looking through the keyhole. So open the door wide open. Those are your tools. You can access it later, but come into the room, so to speak. And then go ahead and create tree roots off your hips and pelvic cradle. So this is tree roots grounding. And all the way down deep into the earth. And I want you to imagine the biggest tree that you know. It could be a redwood off the coast of North America, or cedar, or giant oak tree, banyan tree, whatever tree, with tree roots going down deep and then using that deep into the center of the earth, imagining that, working with that visual all the way down deep into the earth. And noticing what that's like to have tree roots going down deep into the earth. And one of the things about grounding is your grounding is only as effective as its flow. So what I want you to do now is to imagine a flow going downward. And there's a steady downward flow of energy going down. And if you're just attached to your tailbone, open that up to your size of your pelvic cradle, hip bones, your whole pelvic cradle, giving it steady downward flow. And when you can start to incorporate that kind of visual, if you will, with the movement, then you're starting to experience energy. The visual is effective, yes. However, it's the movement of the energy that really creates the difference, that moves it past a visual. And sometimes some people are so caught in their heads that they have the visual so strong in their mental pictures, they're not actually grounding at their pelvic cradle. So I just want you to check in on that as well. And just notice the tree roots grounding. And then go ahead and get rid of it. Get rid of your tree roots grounding. And we're going to play with one that's a bit lighter, a bit more fun. Tends to be used more in the sense of when you're, playing with kids or enjoying dancing, things like that. So there's different styles of grounding you can use. And this one is a waterfall grounding. So off your hips, pelvic cradle, all the way down to the center of the earth. Create a waterfall. And if you'd like, you can imagine it bouncing off a water slide off your pelvic cradle and then going down deep into the earth just to give it more slip and fun, like you're having fun at kind of a water park. And just give yourself grounding all the way down to the center of the earth. And just check you're going through the Earth's crust, all the magma and whatever else is down there that scientists haven't figured out yet. The latest thing I heard is there's more water deep in the planet than all the oceans combined. It's just caught in mud and muck. I don't know, there's a lot of stuff going on down there. But all the way down deep into the Earth, core of the planet, tie it to something down there, connect it to something down there at the center of the Earth. And if you've popped down your grounding to figure out how to connect it down there, just pop back up into your body. And just be grounded with steady downward flow in that waterfall. A bit lighter, a bit more fun. Tends to be a little bit less serious than the tree roots grounding. Awesome. And then go ahead and let that go. And then choose a style of grounding that you'd like to have for yourself right now, whether it's beam of light, just energy going down, tree roots, waterfall. You can even create other things that you want for yourself for your grounding. Or something that would be useful for you in this exact moment. And then all the way down deep to the center of the planet. And this is your connection to planet Earth. And just give it a steady downward flow. Now, here's the bonus I'm going to give you today around grounding, is your ability to let stuff go. And I want you to be aware of a problem or a person you're dealing with or situation in your life that's consuming your space, taking up a lot of your bandwidth and really impacting your ability to focus, or you're in this problem or this thing, and it's just kind of taking up a whole bunch of bandwidth in your space and in your life. And I want you to imagine whatever that is, work with whatever that is. If it's an energy, if it's a belief, an idea, family, you can imagine them clearly, like there's a spouse or an in-law or a parent or sibling or whatever that you've got going on. And I want you to imagine them and their energies, their emotions, their what have yous, and just allow it to just go down out to grounding, flush it out. And sometimes you got to hit that toilet lever a little bit to get them out of your space or the problem or the situation. And just ground it out, down and out to grounding it goes. Whatever problem, situation, challenge, other people's energies, emotions, particularly people's agendas. And you can even use this tool for limiting beliefs and so forth like that. But whatever this one thing is that you want to kind of shine a light on right now to get some space from. So it's just taking up too much bandwidth in your life right now and causing needless complication. And just ground it out, down and out to grounding. Cool. And just notice what that's like to let it go. If it's easy or difficult, if it's like hanging on for dear life, no, I'm not going to let go. And just turn into your faith or your conviction, your determination, certainty, whatever language you want to use for that, and just go, get it out. Just releasing down and out to grounding. Cool. So we're about 10 minutes into meditation here. Just notice what that's like. And notice how this is different than being a passive meditation, where if you've ever done a meditation where you're just focusing on your breathing or, focusing on relaxing the body. And this is active. You're engaged in your energy system. You're engaged with your thinking. You're engaged with how you're doing stuff rather than just passively creating your meditation space or you're working with your tools. So just noticing how this is different for you. You're engaged, your body's likely still. I know I'm moving my hands around a lot, just doing energy work as I'm teaching here. Cool. And I want you to do an extra little bonus here. I'll give you one more bonus today. I have enough time. And I want you to reach down into your pelvic cradle, like your imaginary or inside arms or whatever, and reach down and grab an auxiliary grounding, and then pull that auxiliary grounding all the way up into your head space, particularly the center of your head area. There's a lot that goes on in your brain and your mental space, and hormones and chemicals and electrical reactions and all sorts of things going on in there. And just grab this auxiliary, the secondary level of grounding, pull it up into the center of your head area from your kind of main grounding, if you will. So you have that, and it's going downward into your main grounding, and just ground out of your head space, your mental space, anything that's taking up bandwidth that you don't need there. And just noticing what that's like to start to clear out your space. If there's any kind of pain, any emotions, anything that feels congested or stuck or just doesn't want to budge, use grounding, ground it out. Cool. And then when you're ready, you can move and adjust your body, and then open your eyes and just fully come out of meditation so that you're not in like sponge-like mode when you go back into daily life. All right, so this is a really simple tool. It's one of the very first two tools that I teach with or work with or teach in my programs. Centering being the other tool that I teach. It's basically the beginning of everything. I teach over, I think there's about 467 energy-based tools, and you just learned one, which is grounding today. And so these are incredibly effective tools for maintaining your space, clearing out your space. If you're stuck with someone's energy, stuck with a problem, create a grounding cord, get it flowing, get your space flowing, so forth like that. And then you'll start to have some, space or some ease or some flow back in your energy system. If you're stuck with something, your energy kind of constricts, or your resistance or your judgment or something, your energy kind of gets restricted, and your possibilities, your options for going forward get very significantly limited, if you will. So anyhow, so that's grounding. As far as next steps, if you want to find out more, every Thursday I'll be doing a live with, that'll be just simply meditation, and this will be at the same time every Thursday. If you want to get further, like deeper insights, intel, awareness, self-awareness in terms of using these tools to apply new awarenesses to your space, send me a private message, whatever platform you're on today, and either an email, a private message, or text if you've got that with me, and we can go from there. But beyond that, have an amazing day. Practice these tools in daily life. Practice them in meditation for 2-3 minutes, and then go out into daily life. Use the tools. Like sometimes you'll notice that around certain people would be ungrounded, and then you're like, oh my god, and then just reground yourself. And then if you're getting all distracted or whatever, just take a moment to reground yourself. And then you can do this while you're having a conversation with someone. So, people who have fears of public speaking or interacting with people, or call themselves introverts or empaths or whatever, or highly sensitive or whatever, these tools are incredibly effective for managing your energy system and dealing with the stimulus and the overwhelm of society in today's world. So hope you have a beautiful day, and thank you for doing the exercise with me today. All right, peace.